We have some more Artemis updates and an unfortunate delay for Starship. So remember how in my video yesterday I was saying how it was interesting that Elon Musk had not commented yet on the Artemis mission whatsoever. Well, late last night he finally said one word on X, which was Godspeed. Around that same time, he also reposted a video of the booster catch from Tesla owners of Silicon Valley, saying the next flight of Starship and the first flight of the V3 ship and booster is now 4 to 6 weeks away. So many of us were thinking that the date would be closer to April 7th based on early 2026 FCC filings. That's because SpaceX applied for an FCC temporary authority to launch and operate space stations on mass simulators for upcoming Starship Super Heavy test flights to further test the deployment mechanism of Starship. But now it looks like April is completely off the table with this new information from Elon, which is not much information at all. I know a lot of us are hoping for an update. In fact, this user pointed out how the date has been slipping. On January 26th, Elon posted that the launch would be in 6 weeks. Then on February 22nd, he wrote Starship flies again next month, which we're already not in March anymore. And on March 7th, he said that the first flight would be in about 4 weeks. So this is a bit concerning, and I'm hoping that we get some actual information to help us out here. You know, could this be a delay due to the upcoming SpaceX IPO, or is this something to do with, all of the teething pains that we had with V2, and maybe they're just still not quite ready? Now let's get to Artemis.
Missions tend to be delayed, sometimes hours, sometimes days. This thing went pretty much according to what everybody was hoping it would do. Was that somewhat surprising when they said we are a go for launch?
Yes. It was surprising. I think we were, we like to say that we're prepared without having an expectation. But, in the back of your mind, you kind of hope you launch. And then when we got really close, it was like, wait, we're getting ready to go to space. And when those solids lit, it was a ride where you're trying to be professional, but the kid inside of you wants to break out and just hoot and holler. But what I wanted to say about that was our exploration ground systems team, our launch control team, they have had some time to practice since February and March and really dial in their procedures and learn and grow. And so I just want to give them some credit. It was an example of how hard they've been working lately that we launched. And it even though we didn't get to really watch, but it felt beautiful.
The astronauts are well on their way to the moon, and the next stop will be the Lunar Flyby. The Orion spacecraft recently ignited its main engine on the service module for about 6 minutes to provide about 6,000 pounds of thrust. This maneuver not only set Artemis 2 astronauts on the path to the moon, but it also put the crew in a free turn trajectory, which will allow them to use the moon's gravity to return to Earth. Listen to this clip.
Integrity. Houston has completed the poll for TLI. When the engine ignites, you embark on humanity's lunar homecoming arc and set the course to return Integrity and her crew safely home. Houston is go for TLI.
Your Integrity crew is go for TLI. With this burn to the moon, we do not leave Earth, we choose it.
Integrity, good engine, good control.
We show the same. Feels great up here.
At MET, mission elapsed time of 1 day, 1 hour, and 14 minutes into the Artemis 2 mission. We have the start of the translunar injection burn that will send the crew around the moon, the first humans to do so in over 50 years.
Integrity looks like a good burn. We're confirming.
Integrity comes.
We have just completed the translunar injection burn. Preliminary reports of a good burn. Again, this commits us to flying by the moon and coming back home on flight day 10.
Well, with that successful TLI, the crew's feeling pretty good up here on our way to the moon, and we just wanted to communicate to everyone around the planet who's worked to make Artemis possible that we firmly felt the power of your perseverance during every second of that burn. Humanity has once again shown what we are capable of, and it's your hopes for the future that carry us now on this journey around the moon.
So obviously day one, the most important thing was launching successfully, But day 2, this was a really important step, the translunar injection burn, which was successful. And so now the lunar science team is also working behind the scenes to prepare for the flyby. They began building a lunar targeting plan, a guide to what the crew will look at on the moon's surface during its approximately 6-hour observation on Monday, April 6th. The targeting plan will include documenting features that can help scientists understand how the moon and solar system formed, such as craters, ancient lava flows, and cracks and ridges created as the moon's outer layer slowly shifted over time. And also, I mentioned that they had some toilet issues initially, but luckily the space plumber, Christina, who is now the woman who's orbited furthest from the Earth, was able to fix that.
I heard that there was a little bit of an issue with the toilet. Which one of you was the plumber?
I'll take that one. I'm the space plumber. I'm proud to call myself the space plumber. I like to say that it is probably the most important piece of equipment on board. So we were all breathing a sigh of relief when it turned out to be just fine. It was just an issue, I think, of sitting for a long time and needing a little time to warm up, a priming issue. But we did originally think that there could have been potentially something fouling up the motor. And luckily, we are all systems go.
And here was also some news that just broke today. The White House released its fiscal 2027 budget request. And yes, there is a decrease. So the White House is requesting $18.8 billion for fiscal year 27 as the budget for NASA. This is a 23% decrease from the funding level enacted by Congress for fiscal 2026. According to a Payload newsletter, the budget proposal includes the same top line as the administration's fiscal 2026 request and would make similar cuts to NASA's science and STEM missions. So what would this budget be used for? Well, $8.5 billion would be allocated for Artemis, fully funding the landers, suits, transportation that will be required for lunar operations. $175 million will go to robotic missions to start establishing a lunar base camp and allowing NASA to repurpose funding for the now canceled Gateway for operations on the moon's surface. There would be $3.4 billion in science cuts through eliminating over 40 missions, an almost $300 million reduction in space tech, and a $1.1 billion cut to ISS spending as the orbiting lab reaches the end of its lifespan, plus another $143 million in STEM cuts. And last week, Jared Isaacman was asked if his ambitious lunar plans had been considered in the fiscal 2027 request. Jared said, quote, "We don't have a top-line problem. This is about allocation of our resources in line with the president's objective and doing it as efficiently as you possibly can. So the agency needs to spend smarter, not spend more." So there is just some of the news of the day. Again, I feel like the, biggest bummer of the day is hearing that once again Starship is delayed another month. Man, at this rate, I hope that I'm able to see a launch before I have my baby. But I will keep you updated if we get any more information about that. And of course, I will keep you updated on the continuing moon mission. Keep your eyes out for Monday because that's when we will have the actual flyby. I'm so excited for that. And thanks so much for watching my channel. I'll see you in the next video.